alive than dead. From the Bearded Whiskey Studios, high atop Barley's Tap Room on Washington Street in downtown Greenville, South Carolina. I'm Russ Heaps, and this is one of our Big Jon and 5 episodes in which I get my good buddy here, Big Jon Richards, to pick a beer from more than 70 taps that they have here at Barley's. We sniff them, we taste them, we talk about them, we talk a little bit about the brewery, and sometimes even the history of brewing, because it's all part of our ongoing mission to spread the gospel of good taste. It's a full-time job. Occasionally we break out in a sweat, not often, but we do. And so
depends on the environment.
Yes, and so some beer drinking's involved in counteracting all that hard work we do. But having said all that silly stuff, Big Jon, what do we have?
I'll jump in on what's a little bit lighter treat for us today, which actually is a pretty solid treat. This is the Full Sail Amber Ale. Full Sail, we're lucky to get out this way. They're one of the old original craft breweries from Oregon, out of Mount Hood, which incidentally is one of the only places with year-round skiing in the country.
Bet you didn't know that, did you?
So these guys actually became integral in my foray into craft beer while I was living out there, and their session lager, which is still, I think, probably the best American lager for, for approachability. If you're trying to win somebody over from the macro side.
Right.
We'll refrain from calling it the dark side. From the macro side, that Full Sail Session Lager is absolutely top notch. It's a fantastic beer. That's the one that won my heart over. This guy is probably even above that, their most original, if not really their flagship beer. They're really proud of this one, and it's won a ton of awards. It's one of the beers that the Beer Judge Certification Program, the BJCP, actually lists as one of the primary examples of what American Amber should taste like. So one of the progenitors of the style, if you will. So it's neat
One of the what? Progenitors?
Progenitors.
Carry on.
Every once in a while. So anyway, American Amber, very closely related to American Pale. It's going to be that slightly higher than average alcohol strength. This guy's sitting right at 6. So just enough to get your attention, but easy enough if you want to drink 2 or 3 of them over an afternoon. You're not going to, fall down the stairs probably, because of the beer anyway. But nice little toffee, caramel sweet stuff going on there, some of those caramelized sugar flavors, bready, real smooth, a little bit of spicy kind of floral hops without getting aggressively bitter in any way. Just a real clean, smooth, easy drinking dark beer, which...
is it my imagination, or is this a little darker than what we think of normally for an amber?
It's definitely on the darker, probably the darkest edge I would expect for amber ale, but it's certainly not into what brown ale is.
Right.
So you're really looking at that sort of sliding scale, the graduating scale of SRM, which then we're talking numbers, and if I wouldn't probably get this up into the 20s, it would be into the mid-teens on that scale, and that gets us real close to where we're going. It tops out at 40, so.
Yeah. Yep. Well, let's give this a little taste.
I think we should. Here's to it.
Text Miss Lily.
That's just that classic flavor of beer.
Yeah.
It's that really smooth, dark beer flavor. In fact, this was not terribly long ago named the best dark beer in the world at the World Beer Cup.
Is that right?
Yep. Some years ago, I don't remember exactly how many. Could be almost anything.
So what are the flavors that you're getting out of this when you taste it?
Toffee, caramel, a little bit of bread. There's a little bit of, if you stick your nose in it, floral hops. and that spiciness.
I'm getting the bread. On the palate, I'm getting the bread. But there's
And-
something else there that I can't really put
Now
my
again,
finger
I'm a
on.
super taster to sweet in the way that most people, everything to me tastes a lot more sweet than it does to most people. So I'll pull those caramel flavors and the sweetness out more than most people will. As far as a back end flavor, and there's some hops going on in there, but there's not much in the way of citrus or anything. It's
No.
really all on that herbal and floral side.
There's something on the finish, but I am just clueless as to what it is.
It's a tiny bit smoky on the finish, and a little bit of the roast of a roasted malt or a smoked malt. I'm sure
Yeah.
there's no smoked malts in this, but I mean anything that's been cooked that long is going to taste a little smoky.
I like it though.
Yeah. Well, it's a great pizza beer. You know, all these amber ales and amber lagers are fantastic pizza beers. We're at a pizza restaurant. In fact, one of the reasons we have this beer right now is we have a pizza on the way.
Yeah, we shoot 4, 5, 6, sometimes 7 of these at a stretch. So at some point we need to eat a little something. So we did plan this purposely that this is what we'd be drinking when the pizza showed up. So, but I mean, I like it a lot.
Yeah.
And I can see why someone would say, yeah, this is a great example of an amber.
And it's not the most exciting beer in the world. You know, it's not something that's going to really titillate, you know, in the grand scheme of things. But as a gateway beer, as a beer that you can sit down and as a beer that you can sit down and drink, it's unparalleled.
What's the alcohol?
6%.
6%.
So, you know, it's enough if you were sitting down and speeding
Yeah.
through them to get your attention for sure. But it's certainly a sessionable
Oh yeah.
strength if
Yeah.
you wanted to take your time with them.
And it's not something you would get tired of. You know, there are a lot of beers that I really like that I can only drink one of.
Yeah.
Because it's one and done, and that's it. Because it's so big and so complex and crazy, but this is something you could drink 2 or 3 in a row.
Absolutely, and that's, you know, where I think beer is traveling, is away from the weird and eccentric and
Right.
esoteric stuff, and toward the more low key,
Yeah.
you know, the sessionable stuff, and
Yeah.
and I think it's a welcome change. You know, I like drinking 2 beers and falling asleep as much as the next guy, but I also like having beers with friends and enjoying my afternoon.
Sure. Yeah.
So, you know, the fact that we're moving back towards this gives us some options, you know, versus having to default to something we don't like.
As an unapologetic day drinker, yeah, this is a beer.
It's
This
in
is
there.
a beer that you could sit down and have a few of.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I don't. At this point, if you get Full Sail in your neighborhood, you should go get one of these and thank the merciful gods that folks like this started doing this about 30 years ago.
Yeah, you know, I'm totally unfamiliar with Full Sail.
They've really just started making their way really nationwide, but they've been around for forever, like I said.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to have them, you know, come out this far. I had a nice little, first time I saw a session show up a few years back, a nice little double rainbow moment.
Excellent. Well, with that, sir,
Cheers.
thanks, and see you next time.
Here's to it.